Welcome back to Monday Night Lights, presented by Final Form Entertainment. We got one more series on the docket for tonight. Seed 7 versus Seed 8. I don't think anyone was expecting this, but Radford and George Mason are in the grand finals. TJ, I know you like these teams. You excited about this?
You always got to bring me into the absolute worst possible brackets, man. The absolute most chaos. It's what we do at this point, but obviously very happy to be here. Collegiate Rocket League has continued to impress for the last few weeks. We got Summer Series back.
Yep.
MNL is doing great.
Yep.
And what better than the 7th and the 8th seed with some incredible runs through bracket, and I cannot wait to get this grand final started.
Look, if you are tuning in for tonight and watching Collegiate Rocket League for the first time, then welcome to what it is like essentially all of the time. So, I hope you stick with us. More Monday Night Lights, of course, throughout the summer, and then Summer Series as well on the channel. I got several broadcasts lined up for this week. TJ, I know you're doing some Summer Series work as well. Collegiate Rocket League is on the up and up right now.
Yep, and of course, you had to bring in the big guns for this one. And speaking of the big guns, how about the new recruit getting this one?
Rhyolite, off the back of just 17 seconds of play, is scoring the opening goal. It's a simple shot for his caliber, but effective nonetheless. Super Smurf with the assist, and Radford off to the races early.
Super Smurf with the assists, both in and out of the game. Completely just getting this team together in a matter of months. I mean, it's incredible what that team has done. But you cannot count out Jay with this GMU roster as well. And shout out to manager Tihan doing work over there. Both these teams with chips on their shoulder for this one.
Rhyolite is the most recent transfer, and a player everybody's got their eyes on to see how it performs. But, you know, like you said, Jay as well. And I think the supporting casts of both teams really what you look to in most instances. But Rhyolite is stealing all of the eyes at the moment. What a steal in the corner, and the Doomsy dish to polish it off. 2-0 Radford.
If you're not familiar with Ryo, you better get used to hearing his name. He is a quick player, and more than that, a very mechanical player, and he will continue to impress for this best of 7. But what a start, and what a fake for Xerus there as well, but Smurf can't tap it in.
Smurf still doing work here, centering the ball for Xerus, who takes a shot that Jay will be credited for the save. 2 went, though, in defense. 1 will be necessary here as Xerus goes to the back wall, and Rhyolite collecting off the back of the defensive touch. George Mason, they are hemmed in right now as Radford have come out swinging, and you don't expect that. George Mason, they are the team that had to wait a little bit coming into this grand final, so maybe they're just taking a second to get adjusted to the grand final speed.
George Mason, though, very used to the collegiate pressure, but as I say that, a hat trick for Rhyolite.
Yeah, as we just try to transition to talking about George Mason, Rhyolite takes all of the attention and puts it back on himself and on Radford. A hat trick in 92 seconds for Rhyolite. This grand finals is off to a hot start for him.
Love to see it for him. I mean, this is your ideal game 1, your dream game 1, and I'm sure both Xerus and Smurf are just loving this. I mean, you haven't really had to do too much. Both of them under 200 points, and that's not saying they're bad at the game. They just simply haven't had to touch the ball. But we finally see George Mason with a chance here, but who better to make this save than Rhyolite? But wait a minute, counterattack is on here, but Titanium, the veteran of this George Mason roster, he's not going to be worried about this.
Xerus has that ball taken away by Titanium. Looking to see what George Mason does, just establish themselves in the offensive end. And all right, he's going to take Rhyolite to the gym. Jay is. That's how they establish themselves. Dev set him up with a nice carry and flip reset, and Jay finished the play off with a flex on the goal line. 3-1, GMU on the board.
Rookie on rookie crime in game 1 here. It's going to be a very long series if that continues, as Titanium will try to extend the chances of them keeping this one close. But halfway through this game, it's been a great start, and a continued pressure that it seems like was never going to end, as Ryo will get a 4th.
That's just a mistake defensively. Smurf runs ahead, Dev oversteps right there, and then bumps Jay, who cut near side. George Mason looks scrambled in defense at the moment. And in most cases, I can forgive that because of the speed and how precise Radford is playing right now. But that's just a straight-up defensive mistake.
Oh, still half the game left to go. Ryo looking for a fifth off the ceiling here, and he'll fake it down. Then Smurf, holy, with plenty of time here, he's going to air dribble this one to the corner. Try and get the Radford side just a little bit more room, but with 3 goals, they got a lot more than just one.
Still, more possession for Radford. They're looking for a fifth, it feels like. More than George Mason is getting chances to look for their second, just to have a go at a comeback here. Xeris and Super Smurf trying to confuse the defense a bit right there with that tandem play. It doesn't work out, as that's a pass out to Titanium. Connects with the net. Dev and Titanium finding that second one for George Mason.
A storied program like George Mason, you cannot count them out, and Titanium has been there for all the ups and downs. You can tell he's got the 2020 CRL tag on. He's been around the block, and he'll shoot that one top left.
Still, 2 minutes left. Lot to do for both sides, really. Radford to close out this game, and George Mason, obviously, to have a go at the comeback, see if they can't collect themselves in the second half of Game 1 of our grand finals. Xeris collecting the ball off the sidewall, beating one. Can't get through Dev. We'll double that ball center, and Titanium is there to make sure it's not an easy opportunity for Radford, though Rhyolite given space, trying to pinch that ball off the ground. He's denied by Jay, leaving Titanium in a 1v1, but Super Smurf too good on the goal line to let a shot like that fall through.
Rhyolite just so quickly already on that ball. Dev had no idea he was even coming, and now look how menacing he looks on the GMU side, giving him all the room and all the space, but now here comes that offense from GMU. We saw just a little bit of a taste of earlier. Is there a little more on the plate? We'll see Xeris play. Not a lot of boost, so that Titanium will pinch this one top right, but Rhyolite already up. What a touch from him, but the pressure not out just yet.
So it's better from George Mason. They've been getting way better pressure than we saw at the beginning of this game, obviously. It was a Rhyolite show in the first 2 minutes of Game 1 with Radford. All kinds of possession. All right, and we are back to our regularly scheduled Rhyolite programming. Thank you very much. I thought we had moved away, but no. It comes off the ceiling and dashes the dreams of a GMU comeback.
If this is the treat that we get this series, I'm here for it. I got to record on the DVR for the family at home. I'm completely here for the takeover game for Rhyolite. But now with 30 seconds left, that's just the nail in the coffin here. Off an incredible MVP performance for him. But maybe GMU, can they find something here with Titanium's dribble play? Over 2, top left. It's going to be a very awkward read, but Jay will find it. 5-3. Game's not over just yet.
Hey, that was pretty. Nice little cut and beat by Titanium there. Super Smurf and Rhyolite dusted. And Jay has an easy finish. So it's not over. You are right. But it's going to be difficult for George Mason. They need more of that brilliance. But sandwiched really into like 2 opportunities. And they've lost kickoff to Rhyolite, who's going to take the ball into the orange box and nearly get a 6.
Close attempt there. Smurf already on the corner waiting for that GMU clear. Things are a little too telegraphed in the last 10 seconds. And GMU doesn't really have much of a choice. They kind of have to rush and they have to push forward. Wait a minute, they might just find one here! Through the smoke, through the flames. This game very much not over yet.
All right, I'm starting to buy into it, TJ. I'll be a believer here. Rhyolite comes off the back wall right there and could not get back to the play. There wasn't a far side defender for that shot. So Radford very close to losing their lead, and this kickoff has gone favorably-ish for George Mason, though Dev didn't have enough boost, and so Radford just spike it. All right, easy does it, and we will reset the server. Radford, despite maybe some ping issues, looking very good in Game 1. Rhyolite went 5 for 9.
Yeah, what more can you ask from brand new recruit? Comes into the team, just goes on a tear, and that's what he's been doing all day. But I will mention this just for the sake of all the Juju believers out there, is obviously every single season not had the highest ranked win, correct? Yep. So that means that technically George Mason, they're not in too bad of a spot in this best of 7. I mean, they are the 8th seed, Radford the 7th, so both of them had to fight their fair share of whatever in the world is going on tonight, but who knows here? George Mason finally started to find their edge a little bit towards the Radford. Consistent as always, and too good of a start.
And George Mason hasn't been bad in the back half of series tonight. Obviously, a Game 5 win over Colorado shows incredible ice. Then against RCU, they got shut down in Game 2 of that series after taking the first game. And then after that, didn't look back. It was a 3-0 loss that they turned into a 4-2 or a 4-3 win, 4-3 win, 3-1 win to close out that series, putting up 11 goals against the Rochester Christian team that is fairly solid. So George Mason in the back half of the series looking pretty good, but we're not quite there yet. They still need a response here in the early half. Otherwise, it might be too far gone, especially if that guy right there is still having his way on Champions Field.
Count him up, Bepic. Is that the 5th or the 6th?
That is the 6th.
6 goals in 2 games, 7 seconds in. I mean, you mentioned last game, getting back to the scheduled programming, GMU trying to turn off anything related to the TV here, but we'll see what they can do as the pressure continues to be on their half.
Well, Rhyolite is a lot of that pressure.
Oh, so smart.
All right,
So
break it down
smart.
for me, TJ. Break it down.
All right, so obviously, I don't really need to do much here than tell you that Rhyolite's the GOAT, but he was going to fake for Smurf here, and somehow, some way, Smurf will actually pull shot him into a quicker shot. So, very good idea, and somehow better execution. 2-0, Radford.
I don't even know at this point. Radford actually went on a 10-goal streak in the last series against Siena Heights. In between the end of Game 2 and the entirety of Game 3, they scored 10 straight goals. And they will continue to be on a tear here. Rhyolite is scoring again. Who knew?
Number 8
Yeah.
for Rhyolite. And he's already perfect. It's been 30 seconds. He's got 3 shots, 3 goals. There's 3 threes on the dang scoreboard. I think Rhyolite might be playing with some sort of magic here, but now we finally see a good attempt for GMU, but a great defensive touch on the Radford side.
Man. Rhyolite was a late transfer. Radford have to be so happy because they've got Rhyolite combining with Smurf and Zeros, who are still pretty good. And all of that work that Zeros and Smurf just did on the goal line, hard work, mind you, all that just results in another Rhyolite goal.
And like you mentioned, Rhyolite, this late transfer, it almost blends perfectly into this Radford playstyle. They are grimy, they are up in your grill, and they are playing like everything is on the line. I mean, obviously, we could talk about the history of these 3 players another time, but all of them finding a real home here, and they are meshing beautifully here in Game 2.
Rhyolite, more time on the ball, and I came in tonight telling myself that when Rhyolite is playing, I'm going to try not to just focus solely on him. And then he comes out and does this in the first 2 games of the Grand Finals. Like, his name has been said more, I'm sure, than the rest of the players in the lobby combined, because it has been the Rhyolite show. Zeros and Smurf have done extremely well to create space and opportunities for him, but Rhyolite has been absolutely magnificent. And George Mason have to find an answer to him soon.
Rhyolite, there the opposite way. Smurf trying to back pass to Rhyolite. Very controlled touch from him. He can get back to it, but Jay doing a great job to block him off now. GMU, once again, they're finally starting to get a little bit of pressure, but it's about what do they do in this stage of the pressure. This second stage where they have to kind of find a second win to get past the strong Radford defense. And once again, Jay misses that one, and that is what I'm talking about. Ryo shot on net, it's just barely off. And now here comes Cyrus on the net. It's too slow of a shot, but look at the boost numbers for GMU. It's only Jay. He's going to have to use all of it just to get to wall here.
It works out. Got the soft wall, pitch to titanium, and of course 2 off the back line for Radford. Super Smurf trying to claim possession, which Jay will not allow. Puts it to the back wall. I like the back pass idea, but Radford was kind of on top of it, though. Their idea doesn't pan out. It's a bit of backwards chess with whatever both teams are trying to do right now, working out for the other side, and it's a back and forth. Finally, George Mason a little bit of room to work with heading into the second half of Game 2. And if they can get their offense going, maybe we see a repeat of what transpired at the end of Game 1.
GMU finally got what looked like a great 1v1. The bump opportunity came out, but guess who was already pre-jumped? Ryo reading just simply 5 steps ahead of even his own team right now. But his team doing a pretty good job at hanging behind his lead here, as now we are down to 2 minutes left. It has been a stout defensive stand for both teams, but of course, one of them breathing down the neck of the other.
Titanium out to the corner. Dev will field the ball, force an incidental touch off Zyrus's car. Smurf, just a little plugger to the back wall, setting up anybody that wants to go up for it. And Jay is that one player who ushers it out to the side. So 90 seconds left. George Mason playing decent defense at the moment, but they could really use some time spent on that blue end of the pitch. If they can create anything that can get through Radford, you give them a little bit of steam going into game 3, but what they're trying right now, it is not working. The speed of Radford, too quick for George Mason to do anything on the offensive side of the ball.
Great job at controlling the game. It's going to be a very awkward demo, but Smurf somehow will read the spot. Are you serious? How do you even comprehend this play from Radford as they continue to be so far ahead? Smurf's ahead of all 3 GMU defenders, 5-0.
I don't know. Super Smurf, there's a reason why he was touted so highly by both of us in the SEL when he came into the Cumberland starting lineup last semester. And now he's moved on to greener pastures and is still the effective player that we watched him become throughout all of spring of 2024. Stepping up big time. It's not just Rhyolite in this Radford roster. Zyrus and Smurf can get it done as well. And with 30 seconds left, Radford has more than got it done in game 2. They should have an easy cap to a wonderful start to their grand finals run.
Smurf just narrowly avoiding a bump that would have at least given GMU a little bit of hope. Jay's going to miss. Dev up next, but got doubled a little too egregious. Not going to find too much, as that will force a double commit out of Radford. Probably the first time we've seen in the armor there, but unfortunately not enough. This ball will just float away to the wall, and Dev going to try and once again look for that one last shot. Titanium backboard, but that will finally hit the ground. And Bepic, what is happening?
Well, I think that finally hit the ground. The finally there is solely for George Mason fans. So Radford fans, they don't want this to end. This has got to be so much fun to watch. Rhyolite popping off 9 of the 10 Radford goals, and George Mason held to 0 goals on 6 shots. The opportunities were there, but Radford is playing too quick on their goal line, and George Mason has to find some way to interfere with the flow state that it feels like Radford is in on both sides of the ball. And I'm not sure how you do that, whether it's off-ball movement or change ups of speed when you are on the ball. I don't know. They're going to figure that out themselves. I don't envy their position whatsoever. But for Radford, I feel like you just keep doing what you're doing. They're playing so smooth right now. The mechanics are on point. The team plays are on point. This is smooth sailing for them.
Yeah, there's 2 keys to the game who are trying to coach up the side, and it's Ryo and Light.
Yeah.
That is simply the game changer. He is controlling the entire pitch, and even his team letting him do work, and it cannot be what has basically become a 1v3 and then a bunch of free open nets. So GMU, their experience, they obviously know that, but what are they going to do here to make sure they're not playing from behind for 4 minutes? Yeah.
Hey, that's a good start, honestly. Demo Rhyolite. And you can build off the back of that, perhaps, as Rhyolite GMU try to chip him off the play again right there, but doesn't pan out. He still gets the ball away and still gets a shot and gets a goal. Like, he's been demoed, he's been bumped, and yet his challenge game is still perfect. That first touch is beautiful. He pokes it over Jay, coaxes Titanium into a challenge that he was going to lose from the get-go. 1-0 Rhyolite, I mean Radford.
You know what? No, we might as well just continue that for the whole series at this point if you keep scoring like that. I believe that's 11 now? I know we're in double digits.
It's 10.
10. I'm losing count because I'm just seeing Rhyolite scored, and I'm just losing it. But wait a minute. Almost somebody other than Ryo finally scoring, but the pressure, regardless for Radford, continues to be impeccable. GMU, once again, going to find themselves in a situation where they're going to claw their way back. But 1 goal deficit, very winnable for a team.
I'm not going to call him just Rhyolite for the entirety of this series, just because I respect Super Smurf and Zyrus too much.
Ooh.
But GMU have to find a way to stop Rhyolite. That's obvious. That is easy analysis for anybody that knows a lick about Rocket League and has watched a lick of this series. So, GMU, they're operating their offense at the moment, and I like what they're doing, trying to read quickly where the ball is going off the goal line. And that's what you should always be doing, but they're moving up and trying to get a jump on where the ball is going to careen off of a 50-50 on the Radford goal line. If it works out, they could find easy opportunities to score, but it hasn't worked out so far. Still a goose egg on the board. Scoreless in game 2, still scoreless in game 3. Rhyolite playing with his food at the moment, taking a 50-50 with Jay and also Dev. That leaves Titanium alone in defense, but he will find a clear.
It's going to hurt a little bit for Radford. I believe that Ryo is trying to fake for Smurf, but a little awkward on the comms there, and going to stay a 1-goal lead, but now making that read there. But now Ryo's got to watch out for the bump attempt, and Smurf won't read through it all, and it's an awkward goal, but GMU finally bring us a series here.
There we go. Dev, let's put a little extra touch on that, and there you go. Take out Rhyolite. Out of the goal line, out of the picture, out of the issues that George Mason have been facing in this series. And that was the biggest issue there. 1-1, George Mason tying us up. They could find a lead here if they can escape with some boost and some space, but Super Smurf won't allow. But Jay fields a pass from Titanium, slams it in the back of the Radford net, and that is the first lead for George Mason.
Hey, what better of a time to find it? I mean, look, it's still a best of 7. I mean, it's only 2 games if we really want to break it down here. So, GMU trying to turn the tide here, but 2 minutes, that is a lot of time for Rhyolite and company to get back to work.
Jay was stranded, marooned on the side wall with no boost. He does well to find Titanium and Dev, but he's hanging around. He's playing the waiting game. And against Rhyolite, that is dangerous. He gets through Dev, gets back to the ball, but no shot results from that play as Titanium has a great read on that ball. Jay, sidewall looking for Dev and George Mason finding more clears right now. And they have been previously. It's looking better for GMU right now.
Hello. I'll slow down just a little bit. We're finally starting to get back.
No.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm sorry, chat. I'm going to stop talking. Jay will find a second goal.
Super Smurf put in an awkward spot. His momentum coming off the post right there took him into the ceiling of the net. And so, last man back on the goal line. You miss a touch, you're probably getting scored on. And that was the case there. George Mason now a 2-goal lead here in Game 3.
Now we finally get to see what the Radford side looks like from behind. I know they've been pushed to their limits this entire night, but now, at the end-all, be-all, what do you have left in the tank? That first shot from them was very close, but now the pressure slowly was starting to build once again, but Dev locked in. What a great clear, and almost a follow-up shot. But now Ryo off the ceiling. Is there a double touch in store? Down! Oh my, Ryo, why are you kidding me?
You asked in the middle of that call if there was a double touch in store, and silently I said yes, TJ. There absolutely is. The way Rhyolite's playing, if he gets any space on the back wall, I'm expecting a goal at this point. And right there, he delivered a much-needed goal as well for Radford. If they are going to move to quadruple match point, they needed that goal to cut the lead to 1.
Still 90 seconds between them and a hopeful 3-0 lead for the Radford fans. They need to get this game as they have been on their back foot all day. Finally get a chance for them. And was that a free jump, Jay? I'm not sure, but very quick to that ball. What a shot from him.
That's why we get a replay feature. Titanium rotating out, and Jay just trusted that no read was coming from the Radford goal line defense, and they negate that astounding Rhyolite double with a great team play of their own.
A lot of time for Radford to try and work, but Titanium, a massive beat to stall, some much-needed seconds off the clock for Ryo. Trying to very quickly work his way past 2, and he will, but Smurf kind of rips this one away a little preemptively. Rhyolite might just find a 50 here. It's going to have to be a dribble play for it. Smurf is the one to fall himself for it. Dev, awkward touch, we'll find Not a lot of boost. That's almost in, but through the smoke and through the flames, nothing. Fine. Right. Pressure on, but GMU doing a great job of parking the bus.
They might add on to, if not for Super Smurf and his demo in the defensive end. Dev next up with some resources in the boost tank. They'll get the ball center, but Titanium can't force it through the entirety of the Radford goal line. Not what I would expect him to. Jay, though, an opportunity to double it, but Zyrus, a wonderful in and out save, prevents the immediate 5th goal, but Dev, off of the side wall, redirects that shot in. Oh my god.
Dev, I'll do you one better. What a shot from him to make sure that the nail's in the coffin. And GMU, they're breathing underground here. Finally finding a lead and finding more than that with some incredible plays. One last 15 seconds left. This game is... Okay. How about this one, Bepic? 6-2 in game 3.
Oh, Jay, that was disgusting. Oh, used the perfect part of the car to slam that in. It was the broadside, but also got enough power on the play to put the ball in the back of that before anyone got back. That is a wonderful read, and it caps off a great response from George Mason. It was looking dire for them, and they looked rejuvenated, stopping that shot from Rhyolite when, like, 5 minutes ago, it was looking like they would never stop Rhyolite again.
Well, here we go. Everything on the line, and we finally find our first turning. It would be different if this was a 3-2 in the way of GMU, or a 2-1, or anything close, but this is a handily controlled game from GMU. Now comes the point where Radford has to make a not just be Ryo the rest of 7, but for George Mason, Jay and Dev will raise a toast. Ryo's performance. Incredible goals, incredible shots. Both players above 700 points. Higher lobby.
Yeah, I mean, the difference there, Rhyolite still had a good game. Shooting 2 for 5 in a grand finals of a tournament is still a good performance. And it's worth noting, he's scored 11 goals of the 12 that Radford have put in. But George Mason limited the ability of Super Smurf and Zyrus to help Rhyolite out, and they got their offense going. They were creative, it was effective when they were out in front of the Radford net, when it seemed like in previous games the speed of Radford were too much for George Mason to get through. But that's changed, at least in Game 3. It has to continue, obviously, if George Mason is going to take this series and the FNL and Bepic Monday Night Lights number 3. So we'll see in Game 4 if they can continue it. But it's Rhyolite on the ball, taking a creative shot, of course, that is stopped by Titanium, and George Mason can look to clear the zone.
Titanium had enough time to side flip in the Radford half, and it's plays like that that Radford are starting to slow down, and I am not even sure who missed that ball, but somehow Jay finds a double touch, and Radford really starting to struggle now.
I mean, miscommunication there. Jay had a better opportunity on that ball, but how did he double that off the back wall? It was like his front bumper angled the ball around to get it back in and on target. That is something I'm going to have to rewatch later.
No.
But Super Smurf immediately responds in kind, and we're tied up again.
Smurf, after kind of the awkward defensive play that we just witnessed, he'll make Dev have one of his own there. We are completely even, a complete mental reset, and once again, this game truly becoming a turning point.
It is. Can George Mason keep up right now? And can Radford reach the speeds they saw earlier? You bet they can. It ain't just Rhyolite that can make reads like that. Super Smurf can too. We knew it coming into this series, and he proved it right there.
Well, I said you got to step up if your name isn't Rhyolite. And how about that read? All the way from the heavens, straight down and in. Another massive change in this game. Radford.
They have shown that they can not only win games in series by just completely outplaying your opponent, running away with games, and then closing them out with time, but also make comebacks happen, as George Mason has several times now. We are tied up again. Rhyolite gave that ball up, and Dev, allowed Titanium to fake Zyrus off the goal line. That was something.
All right, we're starting to reach the crash out point of a massive tournament like this, and one that makes you gotta stay locked in for hours and hours on end. And at some point, it's got to come crumbling down a little bit. So now both teams have had their rough moments. So once again, somebody's got to lock back in here, and I don't know who it's going to be at this point.
Oh, Rhyolite got around for a shot, but it clanged off the crossbar and stays out. George Mason, sigh of relief right there, but no time for too many of those. They will get back to playing offense. Jay leaving that ball for Dev. We'll pop it up the sidewall, but into the outstretched arms of Rhyolite. No extra touch, however. So Jay finds a read to slow down the attack of Radford and allow George Mason to get it clear.
Dev, not a lot of boost, has to give this one away, and that's not what you want to do. Winning these games because you've been playing your possession so well. And Jay, how about the confidence to go for this one off the corner? Smurf getting red as well. So now Zyrus banging it downfield. Titanium looking for sort of hook shot bottom right, but Zyrus there once again. Ryo needs to block this shot from Dev, but that ball will send him flying and he won't find the double.
And Titanium was itching for boost right there. I'm sure he wanted to commit for that, but only had about 20 in the tank that he picked up while eyeing going after that backboard read. And yet, George Mason keep the offensive going, though that can all come crashing down as Rhyolite has space. He's got a flip reset, and you bet that means he's got a shot on target. 3-2, Radford out in front.
He simply makes it look easy. He's the maestro, he's an artiste. You just gotta give him the brush, and he'll grab the lead for Radford off an incredible flip reset.
He's still incredible. He's still Rhyolite. And Radford, well, they weren't still in front. It was tied up for a bit, but they have claimed a lead back. Super Smurf slamming a pass mid off the side wall. Rhyolite extending it mid. Zyrus to shoot. Nay, pass Rhyolite, though. Doesn't make contact, and I think everyone's hearts just skipped a beat.
And wait a minute, we're not out of the woods just yet, as there might be an open shot here if one member of Radford can get an air dribble. Looks like Ryo will be the one to do it. Flip reset, not over one, under instead. Smurf with a 50. Can he get back to it? He's so awkward off that jump off the sidewall. And as of right now, Radford will still hold on to that one goal lead. But you're wishing it was two if you're a Radford fan.
Oh, you bet you are. George Mason has proved in the last couple of games that they can find goals out of nowhere. It's no longer well, this was only game 2 where they did get shut out. Game 1, their offense showed how dynamic it can be, but they have, I guess, shown in several games this series that they can find goals out of nowhere, and we aren't back in game 2 now. George Mason, though, needing to make a play defensively, which Dev will provide to just keep this game manageable. GMU, 70 seconds left to get this series tied up, to get this game tied up, and have a go at a 2-2 scoreline.
I have yet to see this Radford roster slow down, but I would think now of all times might be the perfect time to do so. But with a minute left, they're still going to keep this pressure on, and it might open the doors for GMU by just a crack, as now here comes an offensive opportunity. Smurf and Ryo double committing. Zyrus, though, is uncontested as he's looking for a double. He won't find it. Smurf will try and go to him. It's over one. It's over two. Is it over the third? Is there a shot? No, it's a great save from Dev, keeping GMU in this game.
To see how GMU acts now in defense. They're so scrambled.
Oh,
the rotations are awry, and Rhyolite is going to find any kind of opening that results from that. He beat Titanium here, and once Jay backflipped, it was all over. Beautiful shot from Ryo.
I could close my eyes and do a dizzy bat competition and see a blue ball go into the net, and I would know it's Rhyolite. It's unbelievable how almost guaranteed this kid is on the ball. But now, 20 seconds left, he still has to close this one out. Zyrus rushing back to try and keep possession. Smurf doing a great job to work his way past two.
That's a great clear. That should get us very close to closing out game 4 in favor of Radford. Rhyolite pops that ball up, and Zyrus is there to get it back to Rhyolite to put a shot on. No way. Guys, the game's over. You don't have to be doing that. Are you serious right now?
I meant what I said about the crash out part of this tournament. This is officially not Rocket League. This is 4D chess, and I'm here for every dimension of it. 5-2 Radford.
Well, the nice thing about what Radford has done in this grand finals is that when Final Form asks me for clips to post on Twitter, I'm not going to have to look very far. I just go back a little bit in the VOD and I watch whatever Radford is doing on the ball at the moment. GMU have had good plays in grand so far, but my God, Radford's on a different level right now.
It is diabolical what Radford has managed to do with series, and it has been so back and forth, so all over the place. And for me, I look at GMU, and Dev did his role, shot 33%, made sure to, I mean, he got the double in the beginning and then really played great defense. And Titanium has yet to have his breakout game, and Jay kind of taken a fall off from the grace that he found in game. But of course, Ryo, he's been as consistent as you can ask out of any player I've ever seen in the Monday Night Lights. And yes, I'm willing to say that. And he's been incredible. Radford have been incredible playing around him. George Mason, though, you're missing one more breakout player. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I just need another step because they're mostly right there. Their offense has produced a game with 4 goals, a game with 2 goals, a game with 6 goals, and now another game with 2 goals. And I feel as though they are putting up enough goals to where you'd figure they'd at least have 2 games in this series. But Radford is doing so much in this series offensively and defensively where they are holding GMU at arm's reach. And that's been enough to get started here as we'll move into Game 5. Kick me out of the lobby, so you missed the first 12 seconds. Fortunately, though, I don't think you've missed much.
Did not, but you did miss GMU actually putting the pressure on first. And so to a lot of the fans in chat, that might be a lot, but we'll see if it actually results in anything as Titanium will slam this one down the pitch. Hey. There's not a third man in sight. And how about this for the start for GMU's comeback?
They will take that. Simple pass. Jay pops it up, and Titanium reads his newest teammate extremely well. That's the kind of tandem play that I feel like George Mason can be missing at times. They're always going for it, but not always connecting. That one did, though. Down the sideline, it catches out Radford. Now Titanium. Extra little touch there. Put pressure on the Radford back wall. Center ball. Gives Dev an opportunity. He'll place it somewhat on target. I think it was a bit high. But GMU, an outpouring of offense early on.
I'm loving to see the midfield work from this team as Titanium immediately gets the mid boost, and look at how he's already on. Is he going to fake for Jay here as well? Yes, he will! That is what I love to see! It is absolutely pitch perfect from them.
There you go. First minute in. And GMU, they are being beaten in some of these games. I don't mean beaten like just they simply lost the game, but like beat up in some of these games by Radford. And yet they keep coming back to the ring and asking for the challenge, for more of a challenge. They're posting a wonderful gauntlet now of Radford, saying, all right, you got us in the last game. 5-2 short. We're going to come out in the first minute, put up 2 on you, see what you can do playing from behind. I love the fight out of George Mason.
Once again, Radford, they do have the series lead, but in this game, fighting from behind and with some awkward goals in the tally as well. It'll be interesting to see how the mental of this brand new team has been. It's been great tonight, but now with everything on the line and an open net potentially, can this one be put in? Smurf bottom left. Ryo will take it because why not? Cuts the lead down to 1.
Hey, of course he's in position for that. Okay, Smurf. Okay, I see. They were both in position for that somehow. I don't know why Super Smurf and Rhyolite were both just outside the George Mason box, but that seems to be the way that Radford's been playing tonight. And 2-1. They are still down. George Mason's still out in front.
Oh my gosh.
But Rhyolite has just taken away their lead completely.
I mean, I feel for Jay here. Rhyolite eats that. Who do you know who is just eating bumps in this game? I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a tie game, why not?
And that's not the first time he's done that in this series. I recall a vivid memory earlier at the midfield line. He gets tagged up and still finds a clear that leads to a goal eventually for Radford on the same possession. We're running out of accolades in ways we can compliment Rhyolite, but he keeps scoring and finding ways to set up Radford offense in different ways. George Mason still have it all to do as their 2-goal lead has evaporated.
A little more boost for that double, but could not find that boost. Now we'll see awkward spot. Awkward 50. He'll find 2 in a row with Titanium. And now Smurf going to drop this for a teammate. Jay is not the car he was looking for, but great position from him. Another 50 from GNU. They're really starting to pick up the pace, but Dev's touch, extremely awkward. And now Ryo gets a pinch on net. And that is the most Ryo goal I have seen all night. And it's his 3rd.
Genuinely, is he using a hacked client? There's no way, right?
I think he is just simply on one tonight, and I'm sure you guys have seen all the Rocket League bots taking over the ranked leaderboards. Yeah, here's one right here. A name change.
I just don't know how that goes in. Rhyolite keeps scoring from out of nowhere. And Zyrus setting up Smurf. Radford, they want the insurance goal. They want this grand finals over and done with before we even reach the late stages of Game 5. This is crazy. But George Mason still has time. There are 2 minutes left here for them to do something. Only down by a goal, but they've got to find some way to get back. And their offense is good enough to do it. It's just a matter of can their defense stop Ryo.
And now more than ever, you have to get back to that controlled offense. And Dev doing a great job of getting it started, but Jay, I'm not sure why he's up for that. And now it's going to be a very awkward spot from Titanium and Dev, and it's absolute meltdown in front of the net, but nobody from the side of Radford's able to take a quick shot. Now Titanium gets a chance to take a 50 past Smurf. He cannot. Zyrus just looking for anybody, but both teams starting to panic a little bit here with the pressure cracking down. More on GNU than Radford, but now this is their first solid chance in a little bit. But Ryo, what a play, and he fakes for Zyrus. He's going to try and find one more. Dev's by himself, almost own goals, but GMU, it takes a double commit, but they survive for just a little bit longer.
Okay, I expected that to go in somehow, but it does not. They do get to survive a little bit longer. And in transition, Titanium actually is beaten by Super Smurf there. Plays the ball to the back wall, where that is not a teammate that was waiting to shoot that. That was Jay. Works out, though. Dev gets the ball away. Demos Rhyolite and found Titanium down the pitch. GMU with opportunities right now, but they need to sign off on one in the next 50 seconds, lest they come up just short of winning MNL number 3.
Great touch to corner, but you give Ryo full boost of possession and you let him go to work. We'll see what he can do. He's over 1, not over Titanium though. Smurf already up. This is what I'm talking about with this Radford side. They do not care that they're up. They don't care if they're down. They're going to be in your face, but wait a minute. GMU top right, just barely saved by Smurf. 20 seconds left. Jay, he'll not beat, actually. It'll be an awkward 50 and a double commit. Dev kind of by himself. Titanium clearing the path. The veteran will make way for the other two to work, and Jay will be credited with the tying goal.
Beautifully done. Stunted Super Smurf in the corner. Made him think for a second about what he had to do. And that moment of hesitation allowed a bump for Titanium to clear that path for the equalizer. They are not dead yet. GMU's got life.
I don't want to say the 2 magic letters just because I'm very okay. I almost somehow jinxed it regardless, but we might not see this game end just yet. Are we gonna get an OT? This ball will stay up for a little longer. It'll be a fake and a demo, and we finally get OT. What better of a way to potentially end MNL number 4?
Well, Jay has no boost, but he'll stick with the play. Looking for Titanium, got us a passing option. Rhyolite won't allow him to really do anything with that ball. Playing it to the back wall. Smurf ends it! Rhyolite did a lot of heavy lifting here, but Super Smurf slams the hammer down one final time. Radford win the Bepic and Final Four Monday Night Lights tournament, and they get 60 bucks in their back pocket. 4-1 in grands.
It's dominance, and we finally see a team that is seated higher than their competitor find their way into a series win, and a controlling one at that. Incredible play, not just from Rhyolite, but of course from Smurf, Zyrus. Well, I mean, that is just a complete, total team game from them. I know they missed out on CCA Summer, and they are trying to prove it. What a
I mean, CRL on the horizon. Summer series, it's going on now, but who really cares about the summer season in Collegiate Rocket League? I think Radford right now, despite not playing in summer series, will have their eyes on the CRL scape in a stacked East. I mean, this is a team that isn't in the top 16 right now, and they look that good. That's how stacked the East is. TJ, I am so glad I'm not a player, but as a player in the eastern side of CRL, how terrified are you of teams like this?
Oh, I'm retiring. No, I mean, I'm definitely not looking forward to seeing them in potential land. But as a caster, I'm loving what I'm seeing. And at this point, East is at the point where it is developing itself at such a rapid rate, including European players who slowly started to mix into the scene. So I'm just glad that as a player, if I'm never gonna make top 16, top 32, at least I can have fun watching the talent and the overall maturity of CRL East continue. It's an awesome.
It is very cool to see CRL developing year after year, semester after semester. Like the ceiling raises month after month. Even I'll go even that specific. But either way, what a night that was. I'll show the bracket one more time. Let me type in Radford into the game-winning slot to blind everybody. And to answer your question earlier, or your comment, TJ, I do have a plug-in for Chrome to make it dark mode, but it doesn't look good in Google Sheets for me. So I guess I got to get a different one for Google Sheets. But there you go. That's the bracket. The 7 seed won it all. Congratulations, Radford. But dude, TJ, what an insane night.
So many story programs.
Yep.
Players as well. I mean, obviously Shawnee State, a new school to the scene, but we have seen those 3 players before. Colorado has been around. They've done their work. Oregon State having a solid showing, but just unfortunately couldn't get past Siena Heights, and obviously we've been casting them for a while. They've done incredible. And it's the night of the transfers. It's the night of the freshmen. I mean, RCU looked great with Magic Skies and Luca. Radford adding a brand new roster looking. George Mason obviously adding Jay, making it all the way to the pushing games extra. Hey, if this is the state of CRL, I'm all here for the new faces.
Yeah, absolutely. And TJ, I'm gonna have to kick you out here because I've got an interview coming up. Whoa, with Super Smurf in just a moment. So I'm gonna go to a break as you got to see my Twitch overlay for some reason. I've botched the production at the very end. But interview with Super Smurf coming up. I'm gonna take a break in a second though to get that set up. So stay tuned, please. There's a little bit extra Monday Night Lights actions on the other side of this. I'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. We have got everything set up, and we have got the man, the myth, the legend, Super Smurf in the booth with TJ and myself. Smurf, you guys are looking pretty good. I mean, it's a bit of a change, transferring from Cumberland now to Radford, but hey, looking good so far. How you feeling?
I mean, it feels good, especially like a whole new team, whole new like aspect, people to like learn to play with and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ryle, it's pretty fun to play with, I would imagine. And Zyrus as well did some heavy lifting tonight. But in that grand finals, Ryo had something like 14, 15 goals. What's it like having him on your team?
Well, I mean, I told like our director whenever we're recruiting, I was like, whenever Ryle's on your team, he like equates for like 2 people, if that makes sense, because he's always in 2 places at once.
Yeah.
He's just like, he gets to everything.
He's got insane speed.
Yeah, he has a lot of things.
TJ, feel free. The floor is yours to ask questions to the Radford.
Didn't even check Discord.
You're good. You're good.
No, I mean, obviously, Smurf, you guys brought this roster together only very recently. And so coming off of your summer series quals, obviously not representing y'all's true talents, how do y'all feel getting ready for the fall and having tournament wins like that?
Oh, well, I mean, it feels good. The first qual, we were playing with our sub. In the second qual, Tony didn't get accepted, or he didn't enroll into school in time, so that's why we didn't play the second qual at all. So this is our first time like playing with him. Like, we haven't done scrims or anything together before tonight, like anything at all.
Oh my god.
Like, this is like our first time ever playing together.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, chat, clip that and put it in every collegiate Discord. That is ridiculous. Well, I mean, a very impressive showing regardless. Overall, man, congrats. You guys look incredible.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, well, I'll let you go celebrate. Although I do have to ask you the final question of any Monday Night Lights interview. With the $20 that you get from the prize pool, what meal are you buying if you were gonna treat yourself to food with that $20?
I mean, probably just Chipotle, to be honest. Pretty basic answer.
Fair. What at Chipotle specifically?
I usually get like a chicken burrito with like white rice and cheese. That's about it.
All right. Simple but effective.
Good order.
I like it, Smurf. Dude, thank you for joining me. I can't wait to watch the rest of your journey with Radford. I loved you at Cumberland. Now a new journey here, and if that's your first time playing as a unit, it's gonna be a fairly successful, and I'm excited for it. Congrats, man.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting as well.
Of course. I appreciate everyone that played tonight. All the casters as well. TJ, thank you for joining me for Grands. And everyone that tuned in, of course. I'm going to cue a raid right now. We're going to see whoever is streaming at the moment. And the Shock is live, so we're going to toss him a raid. Go show him some love. I'm going to say good night, though. Thank you so much to Final Form Entertainment for sponsoring the 3 Monday Night Lights they sponsored this summer. We'll see if we get some more. Still got to talk through all about that. But Summer Series action going to be happening on my Twitch channel tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. So make sure you follow. Make sure you tune in then. But I'm going to say good night for now. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow night for Summer Series action. Peace out.